Jon Stewart tears into the Democrats in a post-election rant that I'm sure many of you will enjoy. Guys, this is a good video. I just do want to say one word of caution, though. Jon Stewart, don't trust him, all right? He is a snake and a leftist hack. And I say that because, let's be real, the dude literally supports sex changes on children and has brought, let's just say, less than intellectual Republicans on a show to essentially make the mockery of a right and say they're a bunch of backwards anti-science dummies and hicks because they don't believe in, well, I can't describe it, but a child sex change, and you can guess what that entails. All that to say, he is not to be trusted, but this is a good video and there are some good points made, so we're gonna get right into it and it's gonna be a lot of fun. But first, everybody, do me a big favor here, like our video, share it around, and if you are new, yes, subscribe to the Resist Mainstream YouTube channel so we can keep bringing you guys this great, hard-hitting content. And for those of you who have subscribed, thank you so much and welcome back. As always, everybody, I'm your host, Darian. Let's get into the show.
But if you remember, the last time that we spoke, it was midnight on election night. And it seemed even at that moment very clear Donald Trump had won the election in a bit of a thumping. Now, part of the disorientation of the Democrats losing the electoral vote and the popular vote and losing ground in the cities and the areas around the cities and the areas around those areas, I guess you'd call it America, was that we had all been told by many of our best prognosticators it was going to be close. We ran the results in the computer 100,000 times. She won 50,001. He won 40,099, 99. But in this coin flip country, I was confident because the Democrats had a secret weapon in a close election, perhaps the most important weapon.
Since joining the race, the vice president has raised an eye-boggling $1 billion.
Call me eyes-boggled. See, the Democrats in a 50-50 election had $1 billion, a war chest to be spent on data analytics and polling and consultants and very clearly texting. There was a lot of texting. A lot of that money went to, how the did they just text me, I'm in the tub?
Speaking of that texting, I got a funny story about that. So a very nice girl I know actually got some text from a nonpartisan, obviously Democrat leftist polling firm that was saying, hey, we're trying to help women with getting out the vote. What can we do to help you? You know, that kind of thing. How are you feeling about this election? And that friend of mine basically ended up making a joke about the 19th Amendment with her and how she thinks that women can be a little emotional sometimes. And let's just say they were less than pleased, all right? They did not like that. They got very triggered very quickly. That professionalism subsided quick. But, oh well, what can we do, you know? Dem's gonna dem. Also, I do have to say, much like Donald Trump, I surround myself with the greatest women, the strongest women. Just don't ask Mark Cuban, though. He's a loser. He doesn't know what he's talking about. I have the greatest and strongest women. Nobody has stronger women than I do. Just saying.
I don't even have my phone. It just came through the water. And while, of course, maybe just giving away $1 million of it every day would have been the smarter, more efficient plan, no! The $1 billion went towards the one thing Republicans didn't have, couldn't have, that would put the Democrats over the top.
The Harris campaign has a massive ground game, 50,000 volunteers.
With volunteers knocking on 5 million doors in Pennsylvania alone.
This is the first time some Democrats have told me they've ever heard of people knocking on the same doors a second time or a third time.
You know, if there's one thing people love, more than someone appearing randomly at their door once, it's that same person coming back 2 or 3 times to talk politics. Even though everyone from vacuum salesmen to Jehovah's Witnesses know that's a losing strategy. In fact, they've known that for decades. Let's just spend $250 million on it. You know what Democrats should do? Whatever money is left over, send those same people back to those voters' doors and just knock again during dinner. And when the homeowner comes to the door, go, what the Scott?
Quick little fun fact, the Democrats outspent Trump by hundreds of millions of dollars on election campaign. It's a hell of a lot of money. and they spent almost $1.4 billion total, and they lost badly. You love to see it.
I thought we connected. But the reason why, and I give them some shit for their strategies, but there was a method to the Democrats' madness.
Democracy and freedom are on the ballot.
Our democracy is on the line.
We have to protect democracy.
Have to work even harder to make sure.
Look at Cory Booker. He looks like a beetle. Just saying.
That we defend our democracy.
We don't get to choose when we're asked to defend democracy. We just have to do it. And this is not a drill.
Noble words. And I'm glad to say Democrats did protect democracy. Just for the other side. Because when all is said and done, we had a free and fair election in which the Democrats had been prepared for almost every scenario but one.
And this comes back to my point earlier about why we cannot trust Jon Stewart or give him too much credit. You hear that crap? Free and fair election. Really? Really, John? A free and fair election where they launched lawfare against the former sitting United States president, tried to put him in jail, in fact, actually sentenced him for multiple felonies, convicted him, and then soon we're going to sentence him. Yeah, real free and fair, wasn't it? Making him spend all this money, spend all this time doing these legal battles, stealing away his valuable time on the campaign ground. Yeah, real free and fair election that is, isn't it? I'm just so sick of hearing that stuff. Such garbage. And let me remind you all, this guy supports child sex changes. So again, let's not do this whole thing where we go, oh, look at everybody, the left is waking up, everyone's coming to the... I only say that because I've seen right-wingers constantly go and just praise people like Jon Stewart. Oh, look at them. They're saying something good for once. Like, who cares? They're still just nasty. Let's be real.
The Harris campaign has built probably the most sophisticated, robust, impressive voter protection program in the history of presidential politics.
We have millions in the bank ready with lawyers all over the country that are ready.
Democrats have been planning on every one of these options for 4 years. Are Democrats ready? You bet they are.
We have county clerks ready to go, secretaries of state ready to go.
So it's all lined up. What are we forgetting, people? What? We got the lawyers. We got the protecting the... What do we got? We got... Jimmy, did you bring the voters? Oh, I thought you were bringing the voters. I brought the hate has no home here posters. Nobody brought the voters? Where are the voters? It turns out the election was stolen by more people voting for Donald Trump. It's quite a caper. Ocean's 74 million.
Well, guys, that wraps up for a clip for today. What'd you all think? That was a good little zinger at the end by Stewart, so I'll give him that. But once again, he is a bit of a hack. But who knows? Maybe one day he will have a change of heart, turn around, repent to the Lord. You never know. Crazier things have happened. With all that being said, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. We really appreciate it. As always, please be sure to comment below. Let us know what you liked about the clip, what kind of stuff you want to see in the future, and we'll see you guys again soon. God bless.